everyone, this is Kathy, and welcome to my channel, Train Up a Child Homeschooling. This is end of the year review for our 2025 to 2026 school year. So I will be covering three different grades during this video. I'm going to be talking about my daughter's end of the year. So that's going to be a fifth grade, and then also third grade and kindergarten. So I'm going to be doing three end of the year reviews, okay? So first I'm going to do fifth grade. We're almost done with our school year. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for helping us get through. My daughter for this year, she did math with BJU, grade 5. And the thing I love about BJU math is that there are not, they're more mastery, but they're not heavy mastery as some other programs are, where you're like, some programs are very mastery in the sense that you're doing one concept for like weeks and weeks and weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like Matthew C is like that. This is not like that. You are going to be doing one concept for like maybe a week or two, and then you're going to jump to something else. And then there is a little bit of review. So that's why I like that. I feel like, because I think a program that is heavy on mastery, I think it's a little boring. But that's just my own personal opinion. You know, everybody's different. I personally do not like a program that is heavy mastery, where you're doing one concept for like months and months and months. Some mastery programs are even like you're doing one concept for a whole year, and then in the next year you'll move on to something, another concept. And I'm like, wait, that's too much. That's, I know my daughter would definitely get bored. I would get bored. So BJU is that nice, like in between, like spiral and mastery. You are doing one concept for like a good week or two. No, it's usually like 2 weeks, really. You're doing one concept, and then every day they're building up on the concept, building up, building up. So today we're doing fractions. Tomorrow we're doing multiplying fractions. And then the day after that, we're talking again about multiplying fractions. The day after that, we're adding fractions. And it's just, we're staying in the same type of like theme, but we're just building up, building up, building up. We're going in depth of whatever concept we're covering. So I use BJU for kindergarten. I've used it for first grade before. And so I just love BJU as a homeschool curriculum. I believe they're very thorough. I believe they're on grade level. They're not advanced and they're not lagging behind. They're exactly, I believe, like on grade level. So if you have a child that they're not advanced in math, but they're also, like they're not slow in math either. They're not struggling in math, but they're not advanced. I believe this is a good curriculum for that, because it's just right there. It's like on grade level. So that's what we've been using, and we're almost done. And we're very happy about it. We're gonna definitely continue with BJU next year. So we're just doing Bible from ACE. So she's doing her paces. This is a pace. So she there's like several paces. I believe there's like 10 of them, I believe. And she would just finish one pace and then go to the next one. So a pace is pretty much just, it's like a workbook, really. And it has questions, and she has to copy scripture. She has to fill in the blanks and answer questions about the Bible story. She has to read her Bible to be able to answer these. So you see here in the top, it'll say read Genesis. It'll give her exactly what to read. And they're doing some questions there, filling the blanks. Sometimes there's crossword puzzles. Sometimes there's memory verses. It changes up a little bit. Sometimes it's connect the dots, So this is the fifth grade Bible reading from ACE. But this is what we're doing for her reading. So pretty much her reading has turned into a Bible study. So she's not really doing reading per se, as in like a curriculum. She's doing Bible. So, and I feel like this is great, because she doesn't really need a formal Bible curriculum. Reading curriculum. For spelling, she's doing 180 days of spelling and word study. So we went ahead and went with this, and I'm very happy with it. We will probably continue next year. We really like the curriculum. It changes it up a little bit. Sometimes there's a fill in the blanks, like a word bank type of idea. Sometimes there's synonyms and antonyms. Sometimes there's something called, I forgot what it is. Oh, analogies. So I really like these analogies. If you can see right there. And then at the end of the week, she has a spelling test. So that's going great. We really like it. We're digging it. We're digging it. This is our first year trying this one, and we really enjoyed it. We're most likely going to continue next year with them. So for my daughter, we've been doing English from BJU. I don't have the book here because we already finished it and I got rid of it. But we were doing BJU English for grade 5, and we really enjoyed it. I loved how it tied in really well with classical conversations. We're a CC family. We're going on to our 4th year of being at CC, and I really love how, right now she's doing essentials at CC, and it's tying in with her English from BJU grade 5, because with BJU English you are diagramming sentences. And if you're a CC family, you're very you should be familiar that in essentials that is something your child will be doing, diagramming and parsing sentences. So I really loved how it tied in with that. So we were able to supplement and add and complement what she was learning in essentials with BJU English grade 5. So, and we will most definitely be continuing with them for next school year as well. So now we're gonna do kindergarten, okay? So for kindergarten, I am using the Good and the Beautiful math with my son, okay? Now I am showing you first grade because we already finished our kindergarten, but we started grade 1 and we're already almost like done with it. So we did kindergarten when he was like 4. And when he finished that, we just went on straight to grade 1, because let me tell you something about the Good and the Beautiful math. The Good and the Beautiful math is not advanced, and I would definitely say in the early years it tends to be more gentle, like in kindergarten, first grade, maybe second grade. I don't remember if in second grade it was very gentle. I think it was. I think it starts to pick up like in 4th grade. It starts to like really like accelerate a little bit more. But definitely from grade 1 to 3, it tends to be more gentle in its approach to math. So that's why I started my son when he was 4. Like he was almost a 5-year-old, but he was still 4. But he was going to be 5 soon when we started kindergarten math with him from the Good and the Beautiful, and it was great. It worked out great because it's a gentle approach to math. It wasn't like worksheet heavy. It didn't have a whole lot of problems on one page. And even now with their first grade math, they're still very gentle, and that works for my son. For my son, that works. Here we have this is what a lesson looks like. Here you have some mental math, and then here you have your lesson. So I love the Good and the Beautiful, how the lesson is already built in here. I don't have to buy a separate book. I don't have to have 2 separate books in my bookshelf. And then you'll have your review and your practice sheet, and then that's usually it. It's just 2 pages. Sometimes it'll have an extra thing like this maze, and then so sometimes it may have 3 pages, but usually it's just 2 pages of work, and that's it. For example, here we have 2 pages of work, and this is all one day. So you have your lesson here, okay, and then here you have your review and activity, and that's it. So for my son, this is perfect. This fits him nicely. Um, and so far, we haven't had any issues in him forgetting things, because there is a lot of repetition built into this. And once we're finished with this grade 1, we will most likely be moving on to grade 2 with the Good and the Beautiful. Okay. So for reading for my son, for kindergarten, we did all about reading level 1. Now, this is not level 1, this is level 2, because now we're in level 2. But we did all of our reading level 1, and now level 1 is shorter. It's not going to last your whole school year. So that's why we're in level 2 now. Level 1 of all about reading has about 50 something lessons. And all about reading level 2 also has 57 lessons, as you can see right here. Okay. So, so this is, about the same length as level 1. So in one school year, you could very well do 2 levels of all about reading, because all about reading they didn't make it to be like a full 1-year program. It wasn't made like that. It wasn't made to be a 1-year program. So you could very well do 2 all about reading programs, and that's exactly what we've been doing. Now, are we going to finish level 2 before the school year is over? No, we're not. And that's okay. So once we're starting in our second or first, grade school year for my son, we're just going to continue with All About Reading level 2. And I definitely feel like with my son, we're not really like, cuz he's doing grade 1 in math, but then in other things he could be doing kindergarten stuff. So my son is definitely like, I don't know. He's the only one I'm like that with. I wasn't like that with my other kids, but I don't know. It's just that sometimes we finish one thing and we're like, okay, let's just move on. Let's move on to the next thing. We're still not done with this, but we're done with this. I don't know. Let's just move on. So, but anyways, he's doing great. We love All About Reading. This is the current reader that he's doing. What Am I? And I love their stories. I love how interactive they are. I love how funny they are. I love the illustrations. And my son definitely enjoys reading these stories. So this is what we got here so far. Um, this is the book, and it's just going great. We love it. All of our reading level 1 comes with 3 readers. All of our reading level 2 comes with 2 readers. So definitely in level 1 they're reading a lot more stories than they are in level 2. But also in level 2 the stories are getting longer, a little longer. So we don't always finish one story in one during one session. We usually break it up if the story is very long. But I know that the curriculum says to do at least 20 minutes of the whole reading program. So whatever you can do up to 20 minutes, you can stop and continue the next day. Now, with All About Reading, it also comes with flashcards. And I have done other videos in my page where I show more about All About Reading in other videos, end of the year videos. So, but you can find a lot of these videos online, honestly. But we really love All About Reading. This is the curriculum that I've used to teach all of my kids, well, except the baby, to read. I use that with my daughter. I use that with my 8-year-old. And now I'm using that with my 6-year-old. And this is what we have been using to teach my kids how to read. That's what I've always used, and I love it. It's my go-to program. Now, am I gonna do All About Reading level 3? I've never done All About Reading level 3. I usually stop at 2, and then from there I just get a regular reading curriculum with reading comprehension. But I don't know. It's gonna be. It all depends. If I feel like he's ready to go to a more advanced program, because All About Reading is very phonics based. It's very heavily phonics. Okay, so I believe this is a good program for a child that is struggling to read. Like if you gotta do level 3 and 4 and 5, I think they have 5. If you have to do all those levels, I would recommend that if your child is really struggling to grasp reading. But I think after level 2, your child should be reading good enough already. At least personally, that's how it was for my eldest and my other son. They were reading good enough by level 2 that I could just move on to like another reading program that's not so heavily phonics and it's more for reading comprehension. So they will be reading, they will be answering questions, and there is a little bit of phonics teaching in there, but it's not heavily phonics like this one is. So it just all depends on how he will do at the end of this program if we're going to continue to level 3 or not. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So for spelling, we're doing spelling you see, listen, and write level A. So this is a kindergarten spelling program. I am loving it. I am enjoying it. I have done this program before with my oldest when she was 5, and it's very open and go. You have your page, and the dark squares are where you would write the vowels. And we went from just writing 3-letter words, and now we're doing 4-letter words with a consonant team in the beginning. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It comes with stickers, and these stickers they match any word that you're doing, your spelling words. There will be a matching sticker with the spelling words. So every day when he's done with all his spelling list, I will give him a sticker that matches with the words, with one of the words that he did, and then he'll be able to find the word that he wrote and put the matching sticker next to it. So we love that. I think this is a cool little thing to do that you can add. And it also comes with the instructor's handbook right here. This is where I have my words, my dictation words right there. This is when we were doing 3-letter words. Now we're doing 4-letter words. And then this is what it will look like at the end. These are the words that they would be doing at the end of the program. So we're about halfway through the program, I would say. Yeah, about halfway, and we're really enjoying it. I will definitely, most likely, will be doing, um, spelling you see level B. It's really cute. It's about nursery rhymes, and that one's gonna be a little different than this one. This one was more dictation. Level B and up, it's more copy work. So they would have to cop. There will be a nursery rhyme, and they have to copy the nursery rhyme. So it works a little differently. And I also believe in level B, if I'm not mistaken, they start to color code the patterns in um in the sentence. And I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about that later. Okay, so that was level A of spelling you see. Now I'm going to talk to you about that color pattern that I said, because I am doing spelling you see C with my 8-year-old. Now, what am I talking about a color pattern? Okay, well, if you're not familiar with spelling you see, there will be copy work. Okay, so you see, you have your sentence for the week. This is your sentence. And for level C, you're going to be learning about animals. Okay, so all the sentences are going to be about animal facts. Your child in the next page, they will be copying a part of the sentence. So every day, they're not going to copy the whole sentence, they're going to copy a part of it. And as they copy a part of it, they're going to color code the patterns they see. For example, here, there's a pattern, there's a vowel chunks pattern, okay? So they're going to highlight and color the vowel chunks that they see in the sentence. Okay, and that's just to get the children to memorize and see. That's what it's called spelling you see the patterns in words and in spelling. And then at the end of the week, there is a test. And the test is supposed to be 10 minutes long. So if your child is not done by the 10 minutes, then you just stop there. And then also, the other thing about the spelling test is that as they're spelling out everything, you're dictating to them. You're supposed to be watching what they're doing. And then if they make a mistake, you can give them a chance to correct it. If not, you tell them, okay, scratch it off, put a line through it, and now this is how you spell it. So this is very different from other spelling tests where you're going to correct them on the spot. So that way they can practice making that correction. They can practice writing the word correctly. And at the end of the test, you would then count how many words, they have to correct. And so that's how the spelling test works. So for this particular curriculum, you are going to need colors, coloring pencils, crayons. I would not suggest markers, but definitely coloring pencils and crayons. If you buy this curriculum, it usually already comes with erasable coloring pencils. So, and then this is your instructor's handbook, which has all your dictation. Okay, and it also shows you the answer key to what things they should be color coding. So at every lesson, they're going to be color coding something differently. Sometimes it's going to be vowel chunks. Sometimes it's going to be consonant chunks. Sometimes it's going to be bossy R. And towards the end, you're going to be color coding multiple things. So in one lesson, they're going to be color coding multiple things in the sentence. Okay. So am I going to continue with this curriculum next year? I do not know. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish the curriculum first and then see how it goes. We're still not done with it. We're about to start part 2. This can be a long curriculum, I would say, because there's I believe there's like 5 pages or 6 pages for like one particular sentence, and we do our school days are 4 days a week, so we are lagging behind in our spelling, and it usually is like that. I don't know, it's always been like that with spelling. We usually lag behind because there's a lot of practice sheets before you get to the test, and then you have to take into consideration that, okay, then that test is test day, there's no more sheets you do, so then it's like, yeah, we're always lagging behind with spelling, but that's okay. It's not, we're not, this is not a race. But I don't know if we're going to continue with this curriculum. My son struggles with spelling. My 8-year-old does struggle with spelling. I have seen a little improvement using this one, but I don't know. Let's see how he does at the end of part 2. If I, at the end of, student workbook part 2, he's doing really good, then we're going to continue. If not, probably going to have to find something else. Alrighty, so for grade 3, we are doing BJU reading I love BJU reading. Sorry for that noise. This is their reading 3B workbook. Their reading program for third grade has two readers. This is reader number two. Reader number one got wet, so we had to throw it away because it got really wet. But anyways, this is reader number two. It has illustrations and things like that. The thing I really like about BJU reading, excuse me, that this is more than just a reading program. It really is. It involves history. It involves Bible. Like your kids are going to be reading poems. They're going to be reading biographies. They're going to be reading about historical figures. They're going to be reading Bible accounts. They're going to be reading informational texts about maybe animals or musical instruments. Like, oh my goodness, they're reading about all kinds of things in here. And I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it because this incorporates so much into one. Like, we read about the Wright brothers. We read about police dogs and police animals. We read about some I forgot the musical instrument, but we read about this musical instrument I've never heard before. We read about like Bible accounts. We read about missionaries. We read about Billy Sunday. We read about preachers. We read, oh my goodness, we read about so many things. So I love that. It's like I can never switch. I can't switch from them. Like I have never found a reading curriculum like this where we're learning so much, but at the same time we're reading. And there's phonics practice along with their worksheets. So they will be reading. This is how it works. You're going to be reading a few pages from here, and you can find that in your teacher's guide. Or I don't really use the teacher's guide that much, honestly. But if not, then you go to your workbook. This is your workbook, right? In your workbook, it'll tell you what pages you're going to be reading from. So, for example, here, it'll say lesson one, oops, sorry, lesson 114, pages 208 to 214. Now, those pages are talking about the reader. So, you're going to go to your reader, you're going to read these pages, and then you're going to answer this worksheet, and it's front and back. Okay? And that's it. So, you don't really need a teacher's guide. Now, sometimes I do use the teacher's guides to ask reading comprehensions as my son is reading this. But lately, he's been doing it on his own, so I don't even have to open the teacher's guide. And the worksheet already has reading comprehension questions, you know? So it already has questions to make sure that they understood everything and they remember the facts of the story. Um, so this is great. This is great. This is very thorough. There's a lot of reading comprehension in here. There's also phonics practice. Let me give you an example. Okay. So here we're talking about circling. Here it says there. Here it says circle the picture that has the same vowel sound as the underlined word. Okay. Then there's more here. Here we're doing when a two-syllable word has a single consonant between two vowels, and the first vowel has a short sound, the consonant usually stays with the first vowel. So here we're talking about splitting the word into syllables. Okay. So this is perfect. This is perfect for my son. And I just love it. It has a little bit of phonics. It has your reading comprehension questions, and it has amazing literature to keep your child engaged. Like you're not just constantly reading random little stories that somebody made up. No, like you're reading every time that you're reading something is different. Okay, so there's so many genres in here. Let me show you. This is a table of contents. Here it tells you the title of the story, and it also what genre it is. Okay, and these are just some of them. It has several pages of stories. This is just some of them. Here's another page. Okay, and there's two other ones too. Okay, so I love it. Look, you're reading a drama. You're reading realistic fiction. You're reading fantasy. You're reading an article about snakes. You're reading poetry. You're reading a retelling of Aesop's fable. You're reading an article. You're reading a true story retold by Karen Wilt. Like you're reading about spiders. You're reading a Bible account. You're reading a fantasy book. You're reading a biography. It's just so much. I love it. I love it. I don't think I can never switch from this. I'm sorry. I just can't. I just love it. I love it. My daughter did this for her fourth grade year. Well, she did, BJU grade 4. She did this for her fourth grade year, and that's what my son is going to be doing next year. He's going to be doing BJU reading grade 4. So I love it. I'm going to stick with it, and I am loving it. Okay. So for English, for my son, grade 3, we're doing BJU English. So they do grammar, writing, grammar, writing, grammar, writing, grammar, writing. That's how English works for BJU. That's how it was also for my daughter's grade 5 BJU English. That's how it always is. So I really like that because it incorporates writing into the English curriculum. So we're not just doing grammar, we're not just talking about verbs and adjectives, we're not just talking about direct objects, indirect objects, and subjects and predicate nominatives and things like that. We're also doing writing. So that's why English grade 5, I felt like it complemented so well to our CC Essentials curriculum. It worked great. So this is great because this is a great introduction and a great practice. So he'll be ready when he enters the Essentials program. So this is great. He's already diagramming sentences in English grade 3. Now he's very basic though. He's only diagramming like subjects and verbs. Like, we haven't gotten very deep into diagramming, but he's already introduced to it. So that's wonderful because by the time he gets to Essentials, he's already gonna know. He's already gonna be like, oh, I've seen this before. So it's great. It's wonderful. And I'm most definitely going to continue using them for grade 4. And I have used their grade 4 for English with my daughter. Okay, so for my son, we're doing the good and the beautiful grade 3. And so far it's going great. I used grade 2 with him last year. Now we're doing grade 3. I also did grade 1 with him as well. And it's going great. And we're loving it. He's loving it. He's the one that chose this actual curriculum because I asked him last year, do you want to, what math do you want to do next year? Do you want to continue with the good and the beautiful? He's like, yeah, that's what I like. I like the good and the beautiful. So we're sticking with them, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna be sticking with them also for his fourth grade school year. It's gonna have the video lessons, so I'm hoping those will work with my son very well. I'm hoping he's going to be able to remember all the different concepts. This is just to give you a little idea what it looks like. So like I said, you have your portion up here of mental math, and then you have your lesson. This is what you will do with your child. You can read. It's all scripted. You don't have to think. And then they have their lesson practice, review and activity, and this is also review and activity. Now you see how in grade 3 it is getting more worksheet heavy with the good and the beautiful. Grade 1, it was just 2 pages. Grade 3, you're doing 3 pages. I mean, mind you, the first page is the lesson. So you're doing that with them. And then the next 2 pages is what they're doing on their own, independent work, right? So it definitely changes. It does get a little bit more work heavy. You can see this is your lesson practice. And then the next page, you have more lesson practice and your review and activity. Okay? So that's what it looks like. And so it definitely does pick up. Like around grade 3, the workload for the good and the beautiful starts to pick up. But definitely for grade 1, I think grade 2, definitely kindergarten, it's a more gentle approach to math. So if your child needs something like that, I would definitely recommend those. But yeah, so that's my end of the year review. And thank you for sticking by. And please hit that like and subscribe to my channel because I will be uploading in about a month or 2. I'm going to be uploading our curriculum choices for next school year. God bless you.